Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing, but we're trying it. We're doing a podcast today, at least trying to start one. Thinking about calling the podcast the Anything and Everything podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about anything and everything. Today we got our first guest on the show. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Skyler. I'm a good friend of Manning's. I would say I've known him for probably, I've known him since 7th grade. So it's been a while.
It's been a journey.
It has.
It's been a journey. So this is a really shit podcast. I apologize. You don't gotta watch it, but we're just gonna know. Neither of us have done this before. We're kind of going along as we go. We're just kind of feeling it out. So this one might be bad. The fourth one might be bad, and then it might take me to the 15th one to get it down. But we're trying it. We're trying something new, and we're just gonna give it a go. So we kind of just did a little quick introduction right there. But like Skyler said, we've known each other since 7th grade. We met actually because I moved into the neighborhood that he was living in. You could probably tell people how, like, when we actually met. I think I kind of remember, or you probably remember, like, the moment we met.
No, yeah. We were, the whole street was filled with kids at the time. We were all playing basketball, and, it was getting pretty close to night, and we were all about to go in, and then I see you walking up the street, and you looked familiar because obviously we went to the same school.
Right.
And I didn't know your name at the time, but I'd seen you around Beaumont, and I was like,
right.
Yo, I think I know that kid. And then you came up and talked to us. Started hooping a little bit.
Right. Then, well, I'm a bucket, so it makes sense to me that I was like, yo, pass me the onion.
No, yeah.
It makes sense. So, and then wasn't it? Didn't that kid start throwing bikes or something?
Oh,
remember that?
His name was Carson, I think, bro.
You don't do names.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
No, I think there was a water gun or something, and someone sprayed it with him, and he got
he started just throwing bikes.
He started throwing shit, bro.
I remember that street was big bike gang back then. 7th grade, it was bikes.
No, yeah.
And so he just started picking up people's bikes and just launching them, breaking them. Just didn't care.
No, he didn't
had no care in the world about it. And it was weird too, because it's you didn't really want to do anything to him because he had hearing aids, and it's if you beat up a kid with hearing aids, you're messed up.
Yeah, it's
that's messed up of you. Yeah. If you're they're like, oh, I heard you got in a fight yesterday. You're like, yeah. You're like, who's the kid? You're like, whatever. You had hearing aids or some shit. That's messed up.
Yeah,
you do that, you know what I mean? It goes probably people you shouldn't fight. It's special needs kids, hearing aids, women, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but it's up there. It's up there with the people you don't want to mess with. So yeah, that was kind of the story of how we met, I would say. We kind of started becoming really good friends. Hanging out more. We were on the same street. And then ever since then, it's kind of just been on the go since that has happened.
I think freshman year is when it peaked. That's we were together every day. Freshman year.
Right. We did everything together. We would we'd go egg cars. That was the egging in the cars was good. I remember we used to be behind that wall, and we would throw those cranberries at. Do you remember that?
They were little tiny. I don't know what they were. They were hard though.
They were hard. They were like cranberries. I don't even think cranberries grow on trees, do they? I don't. But we would sit behind this brick wall, and we just throw them, and you'd be able to hear it just dink the car. And it's not like it was doing any damage. We're not criminals here.
No, yeah, it was enough to just make a noise. It was that.
It was enough to make a noise, but for people to get mad. Didn't that one guy that one time didn't he get out of the car and start? He chased us.
So he circled around and tried to come behind us, and he pulled into the gas station.
He was trying to corner us.
Yeah, and he got out and sprinted across the street, and we turned around and ran. that's the most my adrenaline's ever pumped, honestly. That was
that was an interesting.
like that was a 30, 40-year-old man. Like he looked big too. I don't remember. He looked big. Like he was like
He wasn't moving very fast, but I'm
no.
not fast either.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like one of those things where I was scared. It was fun, but I was scared too. Right. So I mean that's kind of how we met. Like I said again, our friendship kind of just has gone on since then. I mean it's been, I wouldn't say there's been some ups and downs really.
No, we haven't had any downs. Like
no, we've never really gotten into like any like arguments really or fights or like, you know, he'll be petty and stuff about a lot of shit, but whatever.
Right, yeah,
and so right.
Yeah.
And so I'd say the most time that we kind of had like, it wasn't even a disagreement. We just didn't hang out for a while was during COVID.
Yeah. I would say like sophomore, junior year, it was like there was like a little period where we just didn't talk. Not because like we weren't cool, it's just like
well, you decided to kind of be in the house a little bit more during that time.
I was a little insecure. I used to have a little bit of acne on my face, you know.
Right. It's fair. That's fair. So you were, I remember I'd see you you'd be up until 5, 6 a.m. playing whatever you were playing, Siege, I don't know what.
It was bad.
And you wouldn't wake up that next day till like 4.
No, it was
and
bad.
I was like,
days and nights were flipped. Like I would go to bed,
flipped.
The sun was rising.
They were absolutely flipped. I mean, it was like you were like my sister working the night shift. I mean, you were. By the time you woke up, you had about 2 hours of daylight before it was night again.
Yeah,
a little night owl. That's what was going on.
It was depressing, honestly. Like I did nothing. It was depressing. Like I woke up and it was time to go to bed.
And then kind of, I'd say maybe close to end of junior year is kind of when we started. Like we always talk still. It was never like we stopped talking. We just didn't really hang out for a little bit.
I would say I think it was baseball season junior year. Like when baseball started up, we started going.
Right. Yeah. Because I started going and Cam was over there, and I started going to the games a lot more because of Cam.
Yeah.
I'd say that's when it kind of kicked back in. But no, yeah, and then, I mean, we've just feel like we've been through quite a bit together.
Yeah.
I think both of you and me's kind of paths are both a little bumpy. We both kind of had things happen, family-wise. I think that we both were able to connect more about. Than a lot of like the friends that I have right now. Not saying that like just because they haven't gone through, I'm not saying they haven't gone through anything, but you and me, I think just had like a little bit more to kind of bond about a little bit more than some other people at first. And I think that's why we've always kind of been, I mean, I've had kind of not falling outs, but like moments where I didn't talk to some of my friends now. And it was because we were like mad at each other, stuff went down. We've never really had a situation like that. And I mean, people could say that's good. People could say that's bad, but I don't know. I think we both have like a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah. I agree. I think we both like have been through a lot of stuff, and that's why, like you said, it brings us closer and more stronger relationship.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I think that, and not, I don't want to say this in like a bad way. Like when I say this, I don't want you to like not get offended by this, but like for a while when we like weren't friends, like you didn't know me, I didn't really know you. You're kind of more the like introverted type of, personality. Like you're more kind of homebody, doesn't really, and a lot of people say who never have met you that you're really quiet. And now that we've known each other for a while, like I know you and I'm like, he's not quiet. He's just, it takes him longer to kind of warm up to people.
Yeah. And
I'm more of like the extroverted type where I'll talk to anybody. I'll hang out with anybody. I might not like them, but I'm more, I guess, open to, I'd say I'm a little more like out there. And people for a long time, I always remember were like, I don't know how you guys are friends. And I'd be like, what do you mean? And they'd be like, I mean, you're one of the loudest people I know, which is true. And Skyler is one of the quietest person. Like, there's no way you guys, and I was like, we just kind of have that, like, like it's like a 50-50 on where like your quietness kind of balances out my loudness.
Yeah.
My loudness kind of gets you a little bit more ramped up. And I think that's why we've been able to kind of stick together, because I think we do have very different personalities, but we have a lot in common. That's why I think it's been why our friendship has been so good over the past couple of years.
Yeah, like you said, kind of like equals out. Like it's also kind of, I feel like, brought me a little more like to be a little more social too. Like being around you, because like you talk a lot, and like being around you, I feel like it's helped a little bit. But it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to.
Like, no. Trust me, I know I talk a lot. I talk loud. I talk a lot. I've always been like that. But no, yeah, because I mean, there's definitely times where like, I'll try to get you out of the house, or I'll try to get you to kind of come hang out with a group bigger than, just you and me hanging out. And I do think that that's helped you a lot with kind of just being able to get out there a little bit more. And I think you're way more like, from when we first used to hang out, you're way more like outgoing, I would say. And like you kind of said a couple of minutes ago about how during COVID you kind of were inside because of those insecurities. I think you've kind of learned a little bit, because I mean, everybody deals with insecurities. I mean, even if someone who says that they don't, everyone has something about themselves or thinks something that other people think of them that they think about. Yeah. And whether it's, it could not even be something that bad. It's just something that for some reason that person kind of hones in on and kind of beats themselves down about. And I think for a while that kind of happened to you. And then after, I guess you could probably say, you guys your acne better. I think that gave you more confidence, but it was never a fact of like, at least in my opinion, and I'm obviously not in your shoes, I never really saw why you were insecure about that, because it was like, it's hard to like think what someone else is like going on in their head. Yeah. Like everybody has different stuff going on, but for you, it was just like, well, for me, like looking at you, I was like, you've got nothing to like be worried about. Like, you've got nothing to be nervous about. And it was kind of stuff like that like for a while, it took me a little bit longer, I think, to grasp on why you kind of were like a little, like, I'm trying to find the word, just a little bit hesitant to kind of like be out. And I think I've learned that a little bit more now on why you kind of were like that. But I think it did, going through that, even if it's something, as simple as like acne. I mean, people are probably thinking like, you guys are acting like he went through, half of his family got murdered. It doesn't really matter. If you've got something going on that you're not happy with yourself about, it can take a toll on you for sure. Mentally. I mean, it totally can just kind of, it just brings you down.
Yeah.
And, I've always kind of,
I think after getting older.
Go ahead.
It was like lagging a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll say, like after growing up a little bit, like maturing and stuff, if I could go back, I feel like it was stupid reasons, but like then again, like it's insecurity, so like, it gets in your head and it makes you overthink.
Well, I think it's made you kind of who you are now. I think you kind of, even though you went through that moment, you look back and you're like, now I know like stuff little like that just shouldn't be as big as I think it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be as big of a problem as maybe I thought it was. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of, and to kind of not go off topic, but kind of go into that more like insecurity phase. I mean, there's a lot of things that I kind of deal with that, I think a lot of people, they see me as this like really like funny, kind of outgoing, kind of happy guy when I'm around people, right? And I think that sometimes I put on a little bit of a face, not like a fake face, but just like sometimes I put on that smile and really like, and I'm not saying I'm dealing with stuff that's like, super depressing, but there's definitely been times where like a lot of people didn't know that I was going through stuff. Mm-hmm. And you were kind of that friend that I could go to and tell those things to when I didn't feel like, not saying my other friends, like I just felt comfortable speaking to you about those things a lot more than I did with other people. Yeah. And so, I mean, I appreciate you for that, because I know there was a lot of times where I was kind of just like down in the dumps about certain stuff. And I mean, even as simple as just asking you one night to go to the movies, I mean, and you didn't really want to, but you could tell that I was kind of down about stuff. You went to the movies anyways. And little stuff like that, like it goes a long way. People don't understand like those little things of just like calling people or just hanging out with someone for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it means a lot to certain people. And it definitely meant a lot to me, knowing that no matter what, even sometimes if I've got to call you 30 times before you pick up, you always pick up. and you've always been there for me. And it's one of those things where it makes me appreciate you more as a friend. And I feel like I don't give you your flowers enough for that, on how you've been there for me in certain times where where there's been hard times going on. And it kind of goes to the point of, I tell everybody, you know, I started going, not a lot of people know about this, but I mean, I started going to therapy a couple of weeks ago. Nothing that was like really bothering me too badly, but more of just like, a lot of times I feel really angry in life about certain stuff. And even just talking to somebody, a friend, someone random, like just getting certain stuff off your chest can go a long way. Cause I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've seen over the past couple of years a little bit. I mean, you know, rest in peace, Carson, and rest in peace, my buddy Jake, who I played baseball with. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff mentally that I think as men, guys have a lot harder times talking about things, because they think from them talking about their feelings, it's them being soft. It's them being, you know, I'm not a man if I speak about this. I'm not a man if I cry, I'm looked down upon. And I mean, for people, you know, who go through stuff like that, it's just, I sit back and it makes you realize how much you got to take, you know, not take life for granted. Like you gotta be able to enjoy the little things. And even when stuff is really bad, you gotta think about the bigger picture. And so, you know, I'll always tell people now, and for a while I was reluctant. Is that the right word? Reluctant?
I don't know. I've never heard that, to be honest.
I don't know.
It works.
And so I was hesitant. I'll use that because I don't even know if I just used the right word. Hesitant to go to therapy because of those things I just stated, me feeling like, oh, that's soft, that's this, that's that. But I mean, when you see people go through stuff like they did, like, you know, Jake, and I mean, I you know, me and Jake weren't the closest friends after baseball. And so I'm not going to speak about it too much, but, you know, you always saw him as that upbeat guy who was always making jokes on the field. I mean, me and him would talk shit to people, and he was like, me and him were like the dynamic duo on our baseball team on the Orioles, when we would kind of chirp people, and he just always seemed like he was in a good mood. And you never really know what someone's going through. Yeah. And that's why you always just got to be kind of hesitant on things you say. And I mean, I'll go ahead and blame myself, because I know there's been times that I've said things to people, whether it's, you know, elementary school, middle school, stuff like that, high school, or even now, where it's like you could say that one little thing to somebody and you don't know what they're going through. And it might be a joke to everyone else. It might not be that big of a deal, but to them it could be. And so I'm trying to work on that personally. I'm not trying to be like, you know, that asshole who, like, and I'm not saying I'm not going to stop making jokes, but like not trying to like take direct shots at people, or just, you know, kind of being more aware of my surroundings. Because I think, you know, my personality has gotten me in trouble sometimes of things that I say. And I personally sometimes don't think that those things are a big deal, but to others they are. And I feel like you kind of just got to take that into perspective, you know? And so I think it's just a big thing to, you know, to talk to people, to be able to listen to your friends when they need something, or just check up on them. You know what I mean? It's a lot bigger, not saying that, you know, females, you know, mental health isn't something that should be cared about. Everyone's mental health should be cared about. I think though men's mental health is just a little bit more looked over than it should be. I mean, what do you think about that?
No, I totally agree. Like, I feel like females, they can show their emotions, go tell whatever to whoever and be fine. But like you said, with men, like they're a man, so like they feel like it makes them look like it makes them feel like they're looked down upon whenever they express their emotions.
Right, exactly. Right.
And it's just like, yeah. And you never know like what other people are going through.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. It's not a topic I like to talk about just personally, because like I don't know, it makes me sad, but it's the truth. Like other people, like
and it's, you know, it's. I'm one of those people, and my mom can tell you, you know, a lot of people tell you anything bad going on. You know, my mom will send me a video or something of somebody that, you know, has passed, or, you know, something depressing like that. And a lot of times I'll be like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to look at that, because I don't I don't like looking at stuff like that is like that's sad or depressing. And it's I need to work on it better, because even if you don't want to look at it, it's the right thing to be able to acknowledge it. You got to at least acknowledge what's going on, you know?
Like it's in the world. Like you can't like stay hidden from it. Like
exactly. I mean, stuff's going to come up, and you just got to try to take it, you know, full force and full steam ahead. And, you know, when I say this is kind of corny, but like there's always going to be bumps in the road, right? There's always going to be stuff that happens. And I need to work on this 100% of not getting so down on myself when stuff like that happens, because you think of it in the moment as being such a big deal. And in the long run, like it's really not. You know what I mean? Like it might feel like the world's ending. It might feel like everything's going bad. But in the long run, you just got to try to think, you know, this is something that I'm going to have to overcome. And this is something that might be terrible right now. I might, you know, but in the long run, this might help me, or this could be a really big learning moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it's hard to see that too with, you know, I feel like there's a lot of pressure that's put on, you know, kids as from parents' perspective. I feel like parents expect a lot, not saying that they, you know, push their kids too hard, which I do think there are parents who push their kids too hard. Definitely. But they expect a lot, right? They, you know, you're their child their whole life, and they expect you to be great. And sometimes you're not always going to be great. You're not always going to be the perfect person. And I don't think they're asking for that. But I think there's an equal balance of understanding, like, hey, like, you know, this kid might do this kid might do that. And you might be like so disappointed in them, but to still be able to have a foundation of a family who cares about you is like really important.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I personally, for me speaking, I'm very grateful for what I have, family perspective. You know, I have 3 sisters. I have a stepsister and a stepbrother who I don't even really count them as step siblings anymore. I just count them as my sister and my brother. And then, you know, my mom, my dad, and Reed. I mean, it's, you know, you even when you feel like there's no one supporting you, there's always somebody who's thinking about you.
Always.
And it might not seem like that, but you just got to think the bigger picture sometimes, you know? And I'm going to state this last thing I'm going to say about this. I'm going to state a Rod Waviest Wave, a Rod Wave lyric from his song, Call Your Friends. Mm-hmm. He says, call your friends and ask how they're doing. And, you know, in the rap game, I feel like a lot, you know, it's all this violence, it's all this and that. That song really, I think, hit hard to a lot of people because it's true. You know, even a call can make a difference. And so that's what I got to say about that. But, you know, not to try to get, you know, first podcast, getting all deep, but I mean, sometimes, you know, it's stuff you got to talk about.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can say all this and I still got a lot of stuff that I have to deal with internally. So I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. That's just from my standard, but I still got to work on some of those things that I'm even saying. Mm-hmm. So the next thing that I would like to talk about is the Shohei Ohtani trade from the Angels to the Dodgers. I want you to go ahead and tell me what your perspective is on that trade, and then I'll go after you. But I want you to go ahead and start it off.
All right. So first off, there's about 5-6 teams. I think it was like the Giants, Blue Jays, Yankees, Padres, Cubs, and the Dodgers. Has 6 teams.
Yeah,
those 6. So they were all obviously trying to get Shohei. I'm a Cubs fan, so, you know, it was a little disappointing, you know.
Yeah,
a little disappointing, but it's okay.
Okay.
I would have been happy if it was any other team than the Yankees. Or not the Yankees, sorry, the Dodgers. If it was in, like, the Yankees and the Dodgers, if those two were out of there, I would have been happy with whatever team you went to.
Right.
But, of course, it was the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, $700 million for 10 years is insane. That's insane. And
I mean,
they also, I don't know exactly what it means, but they like deferred some of it, so he gets $2 million a year after.
Yeah. So what it is I think we're not huge sports analysts, and I could be telling you guys bullshit right now, but I think it's $2 million every year for the next 10 years. And then I think once he leaves LA, he gets the rest of that money. And I think from what I've heard, just like online or in my personal opinion, I think the reason why he did that, and this is just like a rumor, or it could be truth, this is just, I think he's not getting that sum of the money right now because when you live in LA, that you get taxed so much on the money that you make that I think he's using that as so when he leaves LA, that he'll get that money and it necessarily won't be as taxed as hard as it would be if you got it all at once right now. You know what I mean? That's what I think, and that's what I've heard people say. That could be completely wrong, but I think that's probably what the case is, which is smart. I mean, that's really smart to do that if that is the truth. And I mean, like you said, I mean, 700 million. I mean, that's that's not life changing. That's generation changing.
Yeah, I think I saw like a post like, I think LeBron's whole career he's made. I think I might be wrong. I think it's what it was. It was 482 million his whole career, and Shohei's making 700.
I think it might have been 382, but you could be right. It was around that range, around 400 to 300.
But no, I mean he's a superstar. He pitches, hits, he can do everything. He's really good.
That's what my whole thing was before this trade even happened. Or was it a trade, or did he just sign with them?
He signed with them.
Okay, it's like, how much money are you going to pay him? Because he's basically playing two positions for you. It's almost like you're having to pay a pitcher and a batter, right? Well, it's almost like you're having to double pay them, which is what happened.
Yeah, well, he also got injured. So, like, that's one thing I was thinking about with when he's going to get signed. Like, he may not even be able to pitch, like, as well again.
Right, because I believe he had Tommy John, which, I mean, there's some people who can have Tommy John and come back and pitch, 5-6 miles an hour better or pitch even better. And then there's some people who can come back and their arms it's not the same. So it's like you're taking a risk on that.
I mean, his hitting would be the same, but like pitching, that's what they're paying for.
The hitting's going to be the same, but I mean, kudos to his agent. Whoever his agent is, they were like, this one is going to get the bag no matter what. So kudos. I don't know who he is, but whoever he is, if I was a player, he's my agent, right? Kudos to him. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know me, I'm a Braves fan. And so to see the Dodgers, they get Freddie Freeman and it's like, what? And it's like, that was already something where I was like, really, like, Braves fans hate the Dodgers. I mean, not as much as like the Phillies and Mets, but like, we've always kind of been like kind of going at it playoffs wise. For him to go there, it was already like, are you serious? Like, really, like, out of all teams, you pick that team. And then to see them get another superstar, my first reaction was like, of course, the Dodgers, which I only think, though, there's so many teams, I think, like a few, maybe like 3, 4, or 5, whatever, that could have given him that much money. Like, I think the Mets probably could have done it because they've done it in the past. But, like, there's only a certain amount of teams that were able probably to give him that sum of money, that much money.
Yeah.
And so to see that at first, I was like, geez. And then when I talked to Reed, my stepdad, he's a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, my mom thinks it, Reed thinks it. I mean, they think that it's, even though they got him in, they don't think that he is going to work in that clubhouse. They don't think that he's going to be able to fit in well enough with them. Because, I mean, sometimes it's not even about how good a player is. You know what I mean? It's also about how they can interact with the team. And I'm not saying Shohei is going to be the problem. I think it might be people on the team, others that he's not going to be able to get in with. Because you got people like, Kyrie Irving, who went to the Celtics. That didn't work out. You got these big name players who they go somewhere and they might be, top 3, top 5 player in the league, and it just doesn't work out because they don't fit in with the scheme. So that's something to think about. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see on how that works out. I mean, if it works out, then that is going to be a dangerous team. But you never know. I mean, it could all go to shit. I mean, it really could. So
it's just me being biased, but obviously, like I wish he went to the Cubs. It could have been nice, but
right.
No, like I was looking at my phone every day waiting for that ESPN notification.
Right.
Like, oh, he did the Cubs. No.
Right.
No, just to the Dodgers. But it's a good game. Hey, we got
Well,
Dansby Swanson though, so
bro, stop. Stop, bro. Stop.
so, yeah.
Don't talk about that snake. Don't talk about he didn't
Hey,
help you.
what we need to do is re-sign Cody.
He didn't help you.
We need to
Yeah, I
re-sign
think
Cody.
Cody's gone. I think Cody's
We need to
out.
re-sign Cody, and we need to sign Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
What? He's not bad. I don't like the
Don't
Mets.
don't get me started on him.
He's not bad. I don't like the Mets either. So like I'm just saying he's not bad. Like what?
Well, yeah, he's on the Mets, right?
Yeah.
You mean sign him, not re-sign him?
I said sign him.
Oh, I thought you said re-sign at first.
No, sign him. Yeah, because
you don't want that chump on your team. You don't want that guy. That guy sits when he pees. He sits when he pees.
He what?
He sits when he pees. When he goes pee, he sits. He sits.
How do you know?
It's Pete Alonso. I know.
Oh, okay. I got you saying now.
It's whatever. But yeah. So I mean that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But
what about those Broncos though? The Broncos, what about them?
That's what I was about to get into. So the Broncos started the season off 1-5. I mean everybody knew about the struggles last year we had. We didn't know if Russell Wilson was going to be that guy. I was one of the people at first last year before, as soon as he got signed or as soon as we traded for him, As soon as we traded for him, where I was like, I don't think this is going to work. And it's, we've had quarterback struggles ever since Peyton Manning's left 2016. So it's been a rough go for me as a Broncos fan to be able to watch year in and year out. As John Elway has been in the program for a while. I don't know his position now, if it's the same, but to have someone like John Elway there and not to be able to get a quarterback, that's like, it just didn't make sense to me for a long time. So I had a lot of doubts going in this year. In the off season, Sean Payton decided to come to the Broncos. And the big question was, how is Sean Payton going to be the answer that Russell needs to be able to help this offense go? Because, the Broncos have been notorious, even with Peyton Manning, our defense has always been the part that's really gotten us places. I mean, that 2016 year, Peyton Manning he looked like a load of bricks. I mean, he wasn't moving. He wasn't doing anything. Our defense not carried us because I do think, having Peyton Manning there, top 5 quarterback, top 3, whatever you think, quarterback of all time, it helped us with the experience, with just his knowledge. But we weren't it was our defense that really helped us that year.
Yeah.
So, going into this season, I was skeptical. I never get too high up on the Broncos. And we start off 1-5. We start off 1-5.
Yeah,
we lose by 50 points to the Dolphins, which, no disrespect to the Dolphins, great team, right? Great team. You got Tyreek Hill MVP conversation. You got Tua, who came back from last year after basically getting paralyzed on the field.
Yeah.
He got hit and his hands were like this. He looked like a dinosaur with T-Rex.
Little T-Rex, yeah.
And so they're a good squad, but 50 points, everyone was just like, the Broncos, worst team in the league. And I thought it too. I was like, what are we doing? And then after that game, we come back and we beat the Bears, 31-28, which it's the Bears, right? Then we lose 31-21 to the Jets with Zach Wilson, which there's some stuff going on there, which I'm not a Zach Wilson hater, but it's just like,
no, he's pretty bad.
I don't know.
He had a good game last week though.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's like there's been so much hate on him. He's never really been able to just Mac Jones was able to go in the league and he got some criticism, but not really until recently. Zach Wilson was just kind of thrown in, like every player is, but he just got hate off rip. And it's been hard. And then you have these expectations of Aaron Rodgers coming in, and it's like this. The Jets could be one of the better teams in the league, and then that gets hurt. And what do you think's going through his mind of everyone was expecting so much from us this year?
Exactly.
From a Hall of Fame quarterback, they're expecting so much, and then he gets hurt third play or something or whatever it was.
Yeah, third, something like that.
And probably out for the season. or he's saying he might come back if they have playoff hopes, but I don't know what type of juju they're giving him. I don't know what type of roids they're giving. I mean, they might have some Area 51 might be sending the Jets program some stuff, because if you're coming back from a Achilles tear in a couple months, I mean, it's unheard of.
That's crazy.
It's unheard of. So I don't think that he'll come back, because I think the Jets season's probably over. I could be wrong. That's me. But so we lose to the Jets, still kind of down. Then we we lose to the Chiefs 19-8. Not a great game. Just the Broncos still aren't putting up, we've been putting up some points, but just, for a team playing the Chiefs, it's always been like, you got to put up so many points to beat them. And then we come out, we beat the Packers 19-17.
Mm-hmm.
Decent win, yet again, Packers. Then we come out, beat the Chiefs 24-9. 24-9, which is like the Chiefs scored 9 points over the past couple of years, is unheard of. I mean, I know they had Tyreek, which took a big hit for them, I think more than they thought it was.
For sure.
But that's huge. And it started with our defense. I mean, we had I think 3 takeaways that game, or maybe even more. And so that's when it started kind of rolling. Then after that, we play the Bills, which the Bills have had up and downs, but you got Josh Allen, you got Stephon Diggs, you got all these guys. I mean, overall good team, and you lose, and we beat the Bills 24-22, which that really kind of just was that was the Chiefs and Bills winning those 2 games.
That's what
really turned things around. I think that's what started getting people to think okay, maybe the Broncos aren't done yet. Maybe they're not, you know what I mean? And so that's huge. Then we go on to beat the Vikings 21-20. Then we beat the Browns 29-12, which that was one of those games where I was like, this is a must win, because the Browns have one of the top 3 best defenses in the league. They're a good team this year, and we go in and beat them 29-12. That was huge. Then we take a week back and we lose 22-17 against the Texans, which
that's not bad though. CJ Stroud is tough.
No, but stop.
He's good.
Stop though. He's good, but the play calling and the time management on that last drive and just the whole game was horrendous. It was horrendous.
I know. And they got Devin Singletary. He's good too.
We had chances though. And to lose that game how we did was it was terrible.
I mean, speaking of refs, Chiefs game.
I'm going to get there.
Okay. All right.
Then we got the Texans then we beat the Chargers 24-7. Justin Herbert goes out. I think he fractured one of his fingers. He's out for the season. That was big. Then you got the next 4 games: Lions, Patriots, Chargers, Raiders. I think those are all winnable games. But from how the standings are right now, I think we got to win out if we want to have a chance. I mean, there's so many teams right now that are 7-6. It's like we got to win out, or else I don't think we're going to make the playoffs.
You guys will for sure. You'll beat the Patriots. You'll beat the Chargers.
I think the Lions is going to be a hard game, though. I think Lions is going to be a tough game. Lions are a good team.
Lions for sure will be your toughest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
The other 3.
But we're gonna backtrack a little bit to what you just said. And I know we're a little late on this. It's Wednesday. This happened on Monday? No, Sunday. Kadarius Tony lining up offsides with about how much time was left? I can't even remember.
12, I think.
You're in the 2-minute drill. You're less than that. You got a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the best in the league at doing the 2-minute drill. He lines up off sides. They throw the ball down to Travis Kelce. He runs and throws a perfect spiral to – I just can't even – I don't know his name. I should know his name. I'm drawing a blank. Runs it in for a touchdown. The play gets called back because he was offsides. What is your opinion on that? What is your opinion on the refs calling that, or just the situation in general? What's your
timing was awful. I think they could have, because I saw something apparently he was offsides 4 times in that game and they didn't call it. So that's something. I think it was bad timing. Like there was, like I said, there was 4 other plays that had like little screenshots of him being offsides and they didn't call it. It's like they could have called it before, but like the why call it then? That's the only thing. But again,
my thing to that though is, Skyler, is you're lined up. First of all, you're an NFL receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're an NFL receiver.
I mean, you shouldn't be offsides anyway.
It's your job. I know, you can give the thumbs up, check with the ref, whatever. It's your job to know where the ball is and for you to check yourself. That's just a rookie mistake.
No, yeah, no, I'm not saying they shouldn't have called it. I'm just saying,
no, you just did though. You just said that.
No, I'm saying the timing on it. No.
Okay, but listen. You're telling me though, out of those 4 times, they probably didn't say, "Hey, Kadarius, back it up a little bit." You're back it up. You got 4 times that they're doing that. I find it hard to believe the refs didn't say something once.
No, so I'm saying, like,
in that moment, it's like, but when you look at the pause picture, you can't see the ball. He's lined up so offsides, you can't see the ball. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's like, if it's 4 times, and maybe they didn't see it 4 times, but if they did, you see it 4 times and he still doesn't fix it. I'm sorry. If you're that offsides, I'm calling it. And I don't know how you can be mad about the refs. The play was amazing. Amazing play.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying. They called, like, if he was offsides and they said a word to him, like, I'm saying they should have called it the first time, Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't have given warning. Like, but I'm saying, like, I think the call was good though. Like, Patrick Mahomes after the game, he was like crying about it.
Well, I mean, they've been crying about it today. No, I mean, I've seen something every single day about him.
I think the call was good. Like, needed to be called, but like, I'm saying, like, on their time, like, that was just like, that fucked up their entire game because they.
It's hard to take away from that play. Amazing play. I mean, I'm a Chiefs hater. I hate the Chiefs. I'm a Broncos fan. It's in my blood. I don't like Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce, I like him. Not since the Taylor Swift stuff, but before that, I liked him. But it's like, it's hard to. You had other chances. You had other chances to win the game, and it's because if they got a 10-yard, listen to this. If they got a 10-yard reception, right, just for 10 yards, and they called that, no one would have said a word. Nobody would have said a word about the call. They would have been like, blah, 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 this, that, all, whatever. It's because of how the play was at that magnitude, the reason why they made it such a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. But my thing is too, is you hear, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, you hear all these people, ESPN and out, all of them being like, certain people being like, oh, the refs. I've yet to hear more than a couple people. And I was listening to the Nightcap the other night, which is a podcast with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. Really good podcast, both really good, Hall of Fame players, great podcast. And Shannon Sharp was saying that, like, at some point, when are you going to stop blaming the refs and blame who did it? I mean, when are you going to start blaming the refs and start blaming the guy who was, a foot off sides, and it's like, to not, give him, and I'm not saying, everyone should be like, oh, Kadarius Tony, I hope you jump off a bridge and I hope, your house lights on fire. I'm not saying that, but you got to start giving him criticism. And I don't think, Kadarius Tony has had some struggles this year with catching the ball, stuff like that. But I'm not give him the benefit of doubt. But it's like at some point he's got to start taking that and he's got to start being like, okay, that's on me. And I think that he can get better, but it's just been like Shannon Sharp said, he's just had so many boneheaded mistakes, so many mistakes as a receiver you just can't make. You can't make them.
Especially at that level too. It's like, it's just not like, you just can't do it.
Right. You can't. And I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Sports, life, it's going to happen. But it's, it's just, I don't know. I didn't really agree with, the criticism of the refs. I mean, I think it was a good call. The timing was just, it's tough to swallow it with the timing, but I mean, rules are rules, and it's like, are you just going to give up that rule? No. And so I don't know, but it's an interesting thing. It's been, that's been like the front head of news for sports past couple of days, other than Shohei. It's got a lot of people with their feathers ruffled.
Mm-hmm. And what about the Ravens, though?
Huh?
About those Ravens? Yeah. I haven't been able to watch all like I try to watch every game, even like I'm at
Right,
work, I'll be trying to watch it on my phone, but
right,
it's even then like I can't watch it at the same time. So
right,
I've watched every game, but not like all of it,
right, right,
unless it's like an 8 o'clock
right,
game when I'm at home. But
right.
um,
I think they're one of the best teams in the league.
we started off the season kind of bad. We lost to the Bucks. I think that
Yeah,
was preseason. Never mind. No, we started off the season really good actually. We played the Texans first game 25-9. We won.
right,
Bengals, which was kind of surprising because Joe Burrow was in there. That was a good game. Like Joe Burrow
right,
was still there active, so that was a really we beat them. And I was like that was like a good sign. Like we might actually
right.
because last year, if I'm not wrong, I think they beat us last year and we lost in the playoffs because of that. I don't know, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, then we lost to the Colts, which that was like
The Colts though aren't a bad. They're
yeah,
not.
not
They're not as
terrible,
bad,
but
I
like
think, as people think.
it wasn't expected. Like I was like it was gonna be an
Yeah,
easy game.
I mean that's
Lost in OT. And we beat the Browns too, which is we won 28-3 against
yeah,
the Browns.
it's a
So
big
that
win.
was the Browns.
Browns, Browns Ravens have always been pretty good
Mhm.
games.
And then
I think the Ravens are a good team. Offensively, I don't know necessarily how well they're going to stack up against a team like the 49ers or like I don't know how their defense is going to be able to hold up against teams
next week,
like that.
last week we played the Rams. We beat them. In OT, Tylan Wallace,
Dude, that was
crazy.
insane.
I'm pretty sure that was his third kick return ever, like as a Raven.
Really?
Their punt return. So
Jeez.
like the little walk-off return.
That was awesome. I watched that. That was I didn't see it live, but I saw the replay and that was
So
awesome.
next week we play the Jaguars. And I think
that'll be a tough game.
I think it'll be a game. I don't wait, is
Lawrence is I think in still, but he didn't play like he normally does last week. I mean, he had that ankle injury, and then he was back out there. They shot something up his ass. I don't know how he was playing. I don't know how he was. But
after Jaguars, we play 49ers. That's going to be a tough game. And then the week after, we play Dolphins. And then the playoff game, we play the Steelers.
So if the playoffs still align.
Yeah, if it's still lined up. But
yeah, I mean, I think the Ravens are a good team. I mean, Lamar's my quarterback for fantasy.
Oh.
Even though I took him out last week and started Brock Purdy. And I think Lamar got like 30 points, of course, when I take him out. Love that. I mean, what a shithole. And I think they'll make a decent playoff run. I don't think they're though. I think they're gonna have a hard time sacking up a team like the 49ers.
They're Super Bowl contenders for sure. Like I think not even me being biased. Like I just genuinely maybe a little bit, but like I genuinely think they're gonna they can make it to Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of our that's our sports kind of segment that we're gonna go into today. My next thing that I'm going to talk about. Okay. Let me just listen to me real quick. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about today is females. And you might be looking at me and you might be
we
like,
can just do a different subject and say that for another time.
No, I'm going in.
It's fine. We could just
okay, Mr. In a relationship, you don't got problems. Okay, let me vent. I
don't really have an opinion over it though. Like,
just listen to me talk, and then I just want to hear what you got to say.
Okay, I'm here.
Come on,
I'm listening.
Let me breathe. Give me a second.
I'm listening.
And when people hear me say females, they're like, I mean, it's a broad ass topic. You know what I mean? They're like, that's a very broad statement to make, and as you know, Skyler, I've had some female troubles over the past couple of years. It's been rough. It's been real rough. You look at it's hard for me sometimes to swallow this. You look at some of these girls who are with these guys, and they got the 6-pack, they got the flow, they got the smile, they got, you know what I mean? Physically, they got everything, girls looking for. But mentally, I mean, just nothing up here.
They're douchebags, most of them.
Well, and it's like, I'm not trying to hate on every guy because, there's a lot of good guys out there. But, for someone like me who, isn't rocking the 6-pack, more rocking the donut pack, it's And I know I got to work on my physical physique a little bit, actually a lot, but it's just hard because, and I don't know if it's the age we're at that girls a little bit more aren't thinking that far ahead, and it's just like, oh, I want a guy who's hot, right? Me, I'm looking, and I'm not saying I'm looking to marry somebody next year, but I'm looking to have something serious that I'm like, okay, this is long term.
Yeah,
This
like you
is
don't
someone I
want
can
to.
spend my life with if I wanted to in the next year or two, right?
Yeah, you're not
And I
gonna.
just don't know. I don't know if a lot of girls are thinking that right now in their lifetime, especially in freshman year of college. And I'm not saying you can't go out and have fun, do what you want. I'm not saying that, but it's like I'm just a little bit more on the trying to find someone actually for the long run.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. I was thinking about this the other day, right? And it stemmed from I'm gonna bring back another part of Shannon Sharp's podcast with Ocho. They were talking about girls. Ocho was saying that he's looking to smash on a first date, right? He's looking to crack on a first date. And Shannon was like, no, I need at least a month, couple months, whatever. He said, Ocho said, and I know they're a lot older than us, so it's a lot different. Right now, it's like you smash on the first date. You're like, hey, what's going on here? You know what I mean? He's saying, though, if I am making love to a woman, right, and I'm with her for 6 months, and we don't make love for 6 months, and I make love with her, and it's ass, that's a big thing for it to be bad. So he's like, I might as well do it first time, so then I know if I really want to be with her. What's your go on that?
I think you gotta, I think you have to know the person, because first day you don't know anything about them. That's just weird. Like, me mentally, I could never do that. Like, are you good? I think your screen.
You know what they look like, though.
They what?
You know what they look like, though. That's enough, ain't it?
Nah, but that's you don't know anything about them, though.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I feel like you got to connect with the person, and you both want to be in the same
Well, I think nowadays, not nowadays. I think for us though too, it's like you're not sleeping with somebody at 19, the 21, 20, these young ages. You're not smashing someone who's going to really have, there could be some young guns out there that do, but majority of people our age, you're not going to smash someone and they're performing like Johnny Sins. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I feel like you're not going to find someone where it's like the love making is that good where it's a factor. Because I don't think, there's some people out there who could have, 30 bodies already. And it's like, oh, here we go. But I don't think you're going to find somebody yet who's like that good where it's going to be a deciding factor for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think I agree with him a little bit on an older stance. You know what I mean? Looking at it from 30, 40, stuff like that. Right. But I do think though too that, because if you don't know someone and you don't like them, for me, I have a hard time processing sleeping with somebody if I don't have any sort of actual emotional connection with them. And I mean, I say that now, and I can't even sleep with someone who I don't even know because nobody's fucking with me. But, that's what I'm thinking of on that. That's what I'm thinking of on that.
I agree. Like I say, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't really have much of an opinion. I mean, we kind of already talked about
right. It's fair.
There's not
all
really
right.
About.
The next thing that we're gonna go on here is me and Skyler. You and me are big movies guys, right? We're probably seen, I'd say maybe 100, 150 movies in theaters.
Maybe not.
Dude.
Maybe 100, not 150.
Dude, we saw for that 1 year
I have the tickets. I have all the tickets.
Well, okay, we're not gonna go through that. We've seen a lot. We've seen.
No, definitely.
I'd say you and me are pretty well oriented into the movie world.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not Rotten Tomatoes. but we've got opinions. So
Yeah.
first movie that I want to talk about, and me and you had this, off camera, this conversation, is the new Hunger Games movie. Okay, so what was your takeaway from that?
I've seen all the Hunger Games. It's been a little bit, probably like 2 years, 3 years, but
Right.
I think you didn't really have to see the other movies. This was like before any of them. So,
Right.
but I think it was a really good storyline. I think it was really cool to see what's Cornelius, what's his name? Corliss?
Cornelius Snow.
Yeah, I know it's Snow. I just know his
Big
first
Corn.
name.
The Big Corn.
I think
the
it's
big
like
Snow.
it's Corlanus, not Cornelius. Corlanus.
Okay, well I'm wrong. Okay,
Yeah, anyway,
we'll
so that
call him
sounds
Big
like,
Snow. Big
but
Snow.
no, I think it was really cool. It showed everything, his backstory, showed how he got to that spot, and it kind of showed like how it went from like I don't want to do any spoilers. Are we doing spoilers or no?
The movie's been out for 2 weeks. Who gives a shit?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, it shows like him being a nice kid, like he's a good person, and then he gets into the thing, and he starts doing bad stuff, and then whenever he gets more power, he kind of starts turning into a bad person. Like after he kills his first person, it kind of like sits with him, and like he's like not enjoyed it, but like it made him feel like a feeling he's never felt before, and it like made him feel like he was like big and like powerful,
right,
he could do a lot. So that kind of like it's hard to show more into the movie, and then he like that one scene where he killed the mayor or whatever, the governor's daughter with a gun. Like he didn't.
He blicked her ass.
He just picked it up and just no thought. He just picked it up and just pop pop.
No thought. Oh, that was good noises.
Just did it. I think all the characters are really good. I still want to know what happened to Lucy Gray. His little
that hoe just disappeared, low key. She's not a hoe, but you get what I'm saying. But no,
I think all the story was good. Characters were good.
Yeah.
Camera, cinematography, whatever we go over. It was pretty basic. I mean.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I liked it a lot. It was better than I expected. I mean, I expected it to be good, but I didn't expect to like it that much. I think there was a lot of excuse me. There's a lot. I know it was based off of Snow, and I told you this, but I would have liked a little bit more in depth with the characters. Damn. And so that's kind of my one takeaway. I would liked a little bit more in depth on the other players.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I thought it was a good movie. But the next film I want to talk about, and I could be throwing you a total curveball here because I don't know if you've seen this, but have you seen the new trailer for the upcoming Godzilla movie?
I remember I've heard about it. I think you told me.
Right. Okay. So you haven't seen it. It looks really good. It looks. I mean, as guys, I was talking to Anthony the other day, my roommate, and we were saying that any guy, even if the movies are low-key stupid, any guy wants to see a big-ass lizard and a big-ass gorilla fighting. I mean, who doesn't want to see that?
Who wouldn't? Exactly.
I do.
No, I do too. Like I'm ready to go to it. I'm ready.
Right. And so the theme of the movie from the trailer, which I got away, was Godzilla and Kong are actually going to be teaming up to fight like a bigger Kong.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see them two on the same side. That'll be kind of interesting to kind of see what's going on, see this and that. I mean, that'll be, I think it's good. I think it'll be a good movie. I think it'll be a good movie.
What about, I think it's called the Madam Spider or something. Have you seen that?
No.
I think it's an upcoming movie. It looks like it's a girl Spider-Man. It's called Madam Web. I don't know.
A female Spider-Man?
I think so. That's what it looks like.
I'm not going to get into that. You know, I'll respect, but I'm just not going to get into that.
Movie. I really don't know any others that are coming out.
That I want to see. Now, we said we were going to see it, and then we found out it wasn't in English. That Godzilla, like Godzilla minus or something, -1 or something. That Godzilla movie, remember, that we were going to watch, but we figured out it was. We talked about this. Okay, fuck me. It's a Godzilla movie, but I think it's in Japanese, maybe, or Chinese. Even though I hate reading subtitles in a movie, it supposedly was like because like I feel like in the Godzilla movies, he like tear shit up, but he's kind of like got that nice side to him. This one is just him, just basically just killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that because that's different. It's a different side,
Yeah.
and it's a different like Godzilla. Obviously, they made it.
I think I saw something too. I think it's a while away, 2025. I think Avatar 3 is supposed to come out 2025.
Really, they announced that.
I don't know if it's official, but I remember seeing like a post on Instagram about it, but it could be wrong, but
yeah,
I think that'd be I don't know if I saw the first one. I know I saw the second one with you, but
right. No, yeah, that should be interesting.
It's too long.
Not seeing the first Avatar though is insane.
I think I've seen it, but I was young. I don't even remember, dude. It's I remember parts of it.
It's what was it, like 2012 maybe? No.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. All right. So the last segment that I'm going to bring up today is we're going to do a little ranking. Okay. We're going to do a little ranking. Okay. I want you, and I know I'm throwing you on the spot right now, Skyler, but this is the point because it's going to get your brain working. You're going to have to try to get this. I haven't even thought about my answers. You're going to have to try to get your brain working fast. This can't take a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Top 5 things that are white.
That are white. Just anything.
Just anything. If you want me to go ahead and go, I'll go.
Yeah, I think you started off for us.
Number 5, I'm going to have to go with clouds. Because you ever just sat outside and just watched the clouds move?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I tell you that much. It's interesting. It's, seeing the shapes of them. It's all interesting. 4, I'm going to have to go with tape.
Are you looking at tape right now? Is that what
you're like? No, I don't have any tape. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? Now, you know me. I got bad cankles, okay? I don't have ankles. I got cankles. They're thick. I've always had to get my ankles taped for sports. It saved me. It saved me. So that's my 4, okay? 3, now that I'm going to have to go with, is the styrofoam cups that McDonald's used to have. Do you remember those? Remember when they had the styrofoam cups? Styrofoam cups from McDonald's were the best thing that's ever come out of McDonald's.
I don't think I remember that.
Your drink was cold for hours.
I've always remembered the blow plastic, not the styrofoam, but like it's like cardboard almost. It's not like plastic. It's like, maybe that's what we're talking about. Maybe
it's styrofoam.
I think it's like, maybe. I know what you're talking about then, yeah. It's kind of like the same cups as like any other restaurant, right? It has like it's kind of like the cardboardy kind of.
No, it's styrofoam. It's just styrofoam.
It's not.
It's styrofoam.
I don't think so.
It's styrofoam.
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right.
Number 3. Am I on 3?
Yeah. No, you did 3. The cup was a 3.
Was it?
Yeah. You said cloud, tape, and cup.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Cloud,
Number 2 that I'm gonna have to go with is milk. I'm gonna have to go with milk at my number 2. Okay. Can't go wrong with milk. Milk at number 2. Why not? Okay. No explanation. Number 1, best thing that is white. This is like things that like, this is like assortments, accessories, stuff like that we're talking about here, is ranch. Ranch at my number 1. Ranch at my number 1 for all condiments at all times. Ranch. That's my top 5.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with ranch.
No, I love ranch. Ranch is good.
That's my top 5. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead. See if you can come up with top 5 real quick.
All right, 5. I don't know. I think I can only think of 3. I'm gonna start from 1 and go down. Maybe
okay.
All right. So 1, I'm saying the baseball. I love baseball.
That's a good pick.
Baseball.
I should have thought about that.
I love that. I thought that's what you were gonna say, but number 1, baseball for sure. I love baseball.
Okay.
2, I would say shoes. I love white shoes.
I'm not even. You're picking shit that I didn't even think of. You're listening.
Like, white shoes is something like I always try to look for in a shoe.
Right.
I love white shoes. Like even they get dirty, I feel like they can match everything. Three. Oh, like Matt to copy you on this one. I would say clouds. I love just looking at the clouds and the sky.
Right.
I have
Let's
a lot of
do
sunset
it.
pictures on my phone. It's a little corny, but I love the sky. It's all right.
Well,
No, I love it. It's
that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
4. Actually, hold on. Let me switch it. I was gonna say milk. I'm not copying you, I swear. I was gonna say milk. Milk. I would say put milk at 3. I drink milk every single day.
Yeah.
Like not a day I don't drink milk.
Right.
So clouds would be 4, and then 5. I'd probably say t-shirts. Like I wear
Yeah.
white.
Right.
I wear white t-shirts every single day. Like that's
I mean,
always my
beat her
shirt.
on right now. What are you gonna do?
White
What are you
t-shirt.
gonna do?
I wear it every single day. Like it's always gonna be under my clothes. Like it's
Right.
when I go to sleep, white t-shirt. Out of the shower, white t-shirt.
Right.
Wake up, white everything.
That's a good top 5. You might, no one's probably gonna listen this far in the podcast. They're probably not even gonna hear this part, but I want people to think whose list is better. I think yours might be better because I wasn't even thinking about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah. Hey, whoever stuck around this far, like that's great. But
dedication. Nobody, but dedication. Dedicate. Maybe my mom. My mom. Love mom. There we go.
Love that
but I think that's going to do it for the first podcast here today on anything and everything. I think that's what we're going to call it. It could change from now to next episode. But I appreciate you coming in here talking to me.
Of course.
First guest on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. First guest. That makes me feel special.
It should. It should. But I appreciate you a lot. And that'll do it for today's podcast. But I will see you next time. Is there anything, Skyler, you want to end on?
I think it went pretty good. If anyone's still watching, I think that's dedication. But
right.
I think it went pretty well. It was fun. For my first, I mean, it's probably your first too. But
yeah, it's my first.
I've never done this, so something new.
Right. Just trying stuff. It could fail, but at least I
think
tried. Yeah, but all right. Well, I appreciate you, Skyler. Thank you for coming. Appreciate anybody who decided to watch this, if anyone does. But I'll see you next time, guys. Appreciate everybody, and have a blessed day wherever you're watching this. Night, blessed day, whatever. I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.